Alright, another flea market run down in New Jersey again, same as last weekend. I wasn't planning to do a flea market run this weekend, but a friend of mine wanted to do it. Says, alright, I'll go. Probably should have waited a few weeks because we didn't get as much stuff as last time, but we did get some stuff. So I can't complain too much. It wasn't a total washout. Pretty much the same stuff I got last week, mostly tools. And you can see some nice stuff. I got pretty much an entire set of USA Craftsman. Let's see, forged in USA Craftsman offset double combo wrenches. They don't even make these anymore. They haven't in years. Really nice ones. Look like they haven't been used very much. Those are going right into my toolbox. We got a set of real old style 1970s probably Craftsman woodworking chisels. I mean, they're nice. They haven't been abused. They've been properly sharpened. You use a whetstone to sharpen these, not a grinder. You know, there's a set of them here. There's all sizes. I think I might have left one. No, there it is. There's a little one. I had a guy. There was a guy there who was desperate to get rid of a bunch of stuff. Some of this came out of the toolbox. This is a Craftsman toolbox, 1970s vintage. It's heavy steel. I like these a lot better than I do the black ones they offer now, which I made in, I don't know where they made, some foreign country. I was buying the black ones for a while and noticed that the bottoms kept rusting right out of them. I mean, literally right through. Because I tend to have them on pieces of equipment and, you know, in the cab of our forklift, stuff like that. And maybe moisture accumulates under them and just rotted them out. But these boxes never did that. I have one that's completely devoid of paint that was on the side, exposed to the weather on a machine for 15 years. And the box never rotted out. It's all beat up, yes, but it's not rotten. These don't rot. So what I'll do is I'll touch up that paint a little bit, make sure it stays that way. And eventually that'll be used on one of my machines. So I always buy these when I find them. At least when I find them reasonably priced, like 15, 20 bucks or less. Because having spares, because they will get banged up. You know, you're going to drop things on them, they're going to fall off the machine. They're only tin after all. They're not heavy steel or anything like that. But they hold up pretty well. And that one's in pretty good shape. And it came with a bunch of stuff. I mean, look, a lot of this junk was in there. We got a Craftsman etching awl there. We have some sockets and wrenches, a cheap Swiss Army knife, a Crown Vic taxi cab. Anyway, wants a new taxi cab, there you go. A bunch of crescent adjustable, well, slotted wrenches here. Slotted pliers, rather. Sliding slotted, whatever they call these things. A nice USA-made soldering thing there, gun. And these are always nice to have. This is a Stanley Tools box cutter. See, it automatically retracts, so you can't accidentally leave it open on the counter and cut your wrists open with it. And there was an entire little thing of brand new razor blades. That's good because I do a lot of shipping, so having box cutters around is a good thing to have. We got some nice hole drill bits here, you know, that stuff like that. And let's see, there was a guy there, I was starting to tell that story. He wanted to get rid of this little tool set, and he wanted $10 for it. Yeah, it's old school Crescent, and it is USA made, good quality. You know, nothing wrong with it. Most of it's there. It may be missing one socket, or maybe not. Anyway, I was kind of balking at it because I didn't need it. So he starts just throwing all kinds of stuff on the pile. We got the Wiss tin snips over there. This is a real USA Craftsman for taking, it's a pipe wrench basically, taking pipes off. Don't really need it, but it's good quality. I have a lot of them that are total junk. That one is not. These are Wiss, genuine Wiss tin snips. And this is the best you can get for a tin snip. You will not find better. And they are guaranteed. Take it back to Home Depot to give you a new one or wherever they carry them. This one's in nice condition. It says no need to turn that in. You can see he threw in a bunch of screwdrivers, even a Craftsman ratcheting screwdriver, and an SK. So how could I say no? I say, fine, all right, fine. I'll give you the $10 for it. You give me about $40 worth of tools here. This is a Craftsman professional wrench. It's one of the USA made ones, one of the last ones it probably was. Never that cared for their professional series much because they're too slippery. You see the old ones? The old ones have a nice texture there and that lip. You don't slip as much, especially when you got greasy gloves on or greasy hands. These you kind of can. Now they're emulating Snap-on here with this. Snap-on has used this design for years. S&K does now too. There's just is not enough grip on there. They should have left some texture. I'm sure they look real pretty in a toolbox, but not really my fit. These, on the other hand, are very easy to grip. It's an old style 11/16, probably late 70s, early 80s vintage. Not really sure. I don't know all the codes on it. It's a VA code. But as you can see, what does that say? Forged in USA. Yeah, that's what you look for. Oh, yeah. See, that's the new style SK too. You see how they're all shiny and smooth? That's why I always look for vintage SK, but I won't turn down a good American-made SK. If it's offered to me in a package deal, I'll take it. Bunch of sockets. I'm always picking these things up because I'm always losing them. And it's unfortunate, but my helpers tend to lose things. And sometimes when things break, you simply cannot replace them. S&K you can replace. Mac tools you can replace Snap-on. You cannot replace Craftsman because they're going to give you something made in who knows what country, probably China. And the quality is not there, and I'm just not buying it. This is a good V-Series USA made Craftsman. It's probably 1980s vintage. This, that sneaked in there. This was at part of a package deal for $8 of dozens of these little sockets. That's actually Snap-on. It's a 15mm. It's going back to Snap-on because it's kind of worn. And Snap-on will guarantee that, no problem. I'll get a brand new one for that. And when Snap-on sells this, I think it's like $10 or $12. So it pays. When you go to the flea markets, keep your eyes open for stuff like that. That'll go into my tools I use on the modern cars because that's not something for antiques. Not metric. You know, all these S&K tools, these are all matter of fact, there was a broken socket in a bunch I bought, and that's going back to S&K, and they're going to send me a brand new one. SK tools are still good quality, still made in America. Never have any problem with them. You know, a little Snap-on. This is what does it say? Made in USA. Yeah, Universal. SK again. This is really old SK. This is like early 1950s, maybe even late 40s. You can tell by the knurled bottom edge there. That's the old style. Got some Industro here I picked up, and I don't really find that many of these. This is Isco. Isco was really popular in the 1980s. They sold at a lot of auto parts stores, and they made all the tools for Napa auto parts. And the Napa ones will say Napa on them, but they look just like the Isco ones. And I used to buy a lot of these back in the 80s, and I have an incomplete set now because things have gotten lost over the years. So I've been replacing what's missing here and there. See, there's a slotted bit there, and that's old enough to say SK Chrome on it, which I believe was SK's first tools. That's really old. That's probably 30s or early 40s in there somewhere. I'm not really that sure. And then we got some of these. Whole set of these. Nice. Really nice Craftsman. This is like a ratcheting wrench type deal. You know, you can just turn it like that. It's pretty good. Not sure who made these for Craftsman, but they have a little bit of a deeper combination on the back. You know, the closed wrench, look at that. And this is brand new. The whole set with the universal wrench there was 10 bucks. Now, you can't even buy the cheap crap they got now for $10. I picked up some oil. You know, if I can find oil like that HD30, that's for the lawnmowers. It's a full quart, and something like that, if you can get it for 50 cents, which is what that cost, that's a heck of a lot better than the $4 you pay for it in the store. And that's one oil change on a lawnmower. Engine cleaners, which I always use, and that. Antifreeze. Go to ShopRite and price that antifreeze. It's like $11. I paid $3 for it. Sealed, brand new. That'll come in handy when I got to top something off. Now, when I was out earlier this week, I stopped at Coleman's Military Surplus. They are in Pennsylvania. I forget exactly where, but it's the middle of farm country in Pennsylvania. I mean, literally the middle of nowhere. There is nothing but cornfields around them for miles around and little tiny roads to get there. We had a hard time finding them because of that. But the reason I wanted to go there, and it was a considerable distance from here, was I wanted new gas cans, good ones, because I'd bought a few mail order from them and they were excellent. But I didn't want to pay the heavy shipping costs on this, and I wanted a bunch of them. We're talking 8 or 9 of them. So we went out there, a friend of mine and myself, and I met everybody over there, and we had a look around their gigantic warehouse full of stuff. Brought home a couple more pilot's bags, which is like a big, heavy-duty duffel bag with a zipper on top. They're actually pretty good for storing just about anything. And a lot of these cans I had not intended. I was going to get the avian cans, which are made in Latvia. They're the NATO cans. They're the DOT qualified, you know, all that stuff. Really good cans, extremely heavy duty. They also had these. These are German made. Actually, this is a jerry can. This is an actual jerry can. It's what the German army uses now. It is just as good as the Latvian made NATO cans. You can see it was actually made in 2002. Now, the only thing is they do not come in any color other than olive drab. So I had to go to Home Depot and buy some cans of Rust-Oleum Safety Red. That's the color you need. And you can see how nice that came out. Now it's the DOT approved color, so I can pull up to the pumps and pump them full of gasoline without attracting any attention for that. They're extremely heavy duty. They have the wide mouth, so it's easy to decant the fuel when you need it. They're basically, I mean, there's a few little dings and dents here and there because they've been stored, but there's no smell of anything in them, so they've never been fueled, never been used, brand new. And it's got the 3-handle system on top like old jerry cans do. And it doesn't have the screw top, it just clamps down like that, and boom. You know, you don't have to screw around with screwing things in and out. You can see it actually says Bund on there. That's the German army. There we go. Bund. And there's the part number on it. Really nice cans. I bought, I think, 5 of these. 2 of the Wavian cans, because we have, some of them we have to be DOT approved, and they got to have all the proper numbers on them, all that stuff. You know, in case we have to carry one in a vehicle or something like that, for, you know, more than just back and forth to the gas station. And I got some diesel cans too, which those have to be yellow. And I bought a bunch of those 20mm ammo box. They have some 20mm ammo cans there that are really nice. I mean, they're not cheap. You're going to pay about, I think, $30 each for them. It really isn't too bad. But the problem is, if you cannot go there in person, the shipping will kill you. Because they are heavy. They're very heavy, and you're going to pay probably more than the $30 to have it shipped to you. But they are extremany clean. Some of the nicest I've ever seen. I don't have any here because they're already in use. They're already full of stuff. That's why I bought them. I bought 4 or 5 of them. How many? Oh no, I bought 4 of those and 2 of the Fat 50s. They have Fat 50s there. You know, those of you not familiar with what a Fat 50 is, that is the ammunition can for the saw. The M249 saw. It's a bit wider and higher than your average 50 caliber can, which makes it very convenient for storing a lot of things. I grabbed a couple more since I was there, and a bunch of, you know, nickel and dime stuff. There was some little roll pouches in the tool section, and some wrenches I saw I wanted, and canteens, and little things like that. Just tried to avoid getting stuff I could mail order cheaply, you know, where the shipping wouldn't kill me, and just stuck to the big stuff this time, since I was actually out there. But I have enough gas cans now, and they're probably going to last a lifetime, so I'm not worried about them. These cans will take a real punishment. You know, you don't have to worry about damaging them too much. And knowing what the paint is, I can always paint them again if they get chipped and all of that. Well, that was the haul today. You can see it's not a whole lot. Probably not worth the hour and a half it took me to get down there, you know, and back. But there was something to do, and you never know. We'll probably try again in a few months when they've rebuilt their stocks. And I made a few contacts down there with some people who can possibly come up with some tools that I am looking for specifically. It's good. I got some business cards and whatnot from them. And that was about it. I mean, oh yes, and again, everybody that I dealt with today down there was willing to deal. The object was to move stuff off the table and into my bag. They didn't want to keep this stuff. So if they saw me hesitating, they dropped the price a lot of times before I even asked. You know, or they just started throwing extra things on the pile they wanted to get rid of. Here, how about this? Here, how about, I mean, look at this. This was part of a bundle. I mean, you go to, well, you can't get this at Sears anymore. You can get a replacement. I think it's probably made in China. It's the ratcheting wrench. It's nice. You know, it's reversible. It's offset. It works. You know, and this, I don't think I paid $1/4 for that. You know, if you added up the whole bundle of sockets and a few wrenches or whatever I got with it. And the stuff with the toolbox all came with it. You know, there's even more stuff I didn't put out on the table. It was like hinges and drawer pulls, things like that, which are handy to have. If you ever broke a drawer pull, you know, it's good to have one on hand. And there you go. You know, that is our haul for today.